Welcome to In the Spotlight on Hard Body Radio. It's your girl Lisa, the Baltimore Paparazzi. And tonight's guest is, well, I'm going to let y'all introduce yourselves.
Hayzie.
KTM, King Charles.
Young Lyrikz, King Lyrikz, you know.
Look, I thought he act like he forgot what his name was there for a minute. He was like,
Yeah.
yeah.
So many different.
I know.
But,
as I said when they came in, me and Young Lyrikz, we have history together.
yeah.
There's a show called Blaze the Stage that I was a part of with G Hood.
Yeah, shout out to G Hood.
And he actually called me on Thursday, wanting to know what was going on in the city, and I said, I don't know.
Yeah.
I'm so out of the loop right now. He sent me a song. You know, always doing stuff. So yeah.
Yeah, we working on something right now for real. That's who doing my production deal, you know. And I'm working with Jay. Jay's family, man. Jay really family. Like Jay really embraced the young guy. Really showed me a couple of steps. You feel me? Outside of my mentorship
Right.
with G Hood. You feel me? So it's like it's always good to have two sources. You feel
Right.
me? So it's definitely always.
It's always good just to have good people in your corner.
Definitely.
Because there's a lot of them that ain't so good out here.
Right.
And me and Jay, we got history. He did my shows before the Blaze the Stage show. I had a show called In the Spotlight.
Yeah.
And him and Team Jacob performed there a few times.
Yeah.
Even before then, taking pictures of him, everything. So yeah, it's history. So now I don't have any history with you yet, but I'm sure this is the beginning of history.
Oh yeah, it's coming.
I'm sure.
Right,
So you know, Jay hit me up. Well, when Jay was here talking about the wrestling event on the 16th of December, he was like, "Yo, I got something I want to come through." I was like, "Tell me what day you want. I'll set it up." So that's why y'all here. I'm gonna start with you because I don't know anything about you.
Right.
So I'm gonna start with you. I'm gonna ask you a question, and then the guys can answer too. Because I mean, Jay's answered the question before or whatever. I'm sure. I don't know. I be asking so many things. And like I said, that's the reason why I don't even call these interviews anymore. We're holding a conversation. You learn more about people when you hold conversation.
Right.
And that's the reason why I only book one person or, you know, for my whole show. I've seen too many shows that are 2 hours long, but they got like 4 or 5 people that they're interviewing. So it's like 15 minutes with you and then you're going, and 15 minutes with you and you're going. What are you going to learn in 15 minutes about somebody? Nothing.
Right.
Absolutely nothing.
Exactly.
So, how long have you been, you know, rapping, doing music?
It's kind of been like on and off my whole life. I always had an ear for music. You feel me? Like I kind of just started jumping out there when Coach J, he kind of came to me like, bro, I see the talent that you got, you feel me? I'm tired of it going to waste. Come work with me, you feel me? So it's kind of been, I would say since I was 5, but I just started jumping out there on the ropes. Really.
No, okay. What about you, Young Lyrikz?
Oh man. I've been really. I started when I'm 20. I started on 11, seriously. Like, seriously, I was 11, we used to do it on the Mixcraft. Me and my Deuce, I was rapping in the club. She was mixing all my old stuff down. So it's really like, I've been rap same way like bro said, like my whole life. I wrote my first rap when I was 3. It was a whole bunch of, you know, like stuff like going on that wasn't supposed to be going on, dogs shooting cats and all that. But it was there. It was there, like, and then I just was sticking with it. And then when my mother realized, all right, this is something you really want to do, she was just like, after that, she was like, push me into it. And then I done been around with a couple of people. I had a mentor, Miss Shay. She was making sure Miss Shay linked me to G Hood. When I was 11. She had linked me to G Hood. I met G Hood around when I was like 13. So and after that, I've been riding with G Hood ever since. And that's how I met you.
Right.
You know.
Right.
And then it's been going from there, and I've just been picking it up, running from there. But since then, I'm hitting the ground running. Learning what I can, doing what I can.
Well, it's really good to hear that story about your mother doing, being so supportive of you. Because I mean, imagine, I'm not even going to ask you, Jay. I'm just saying, imagine like normal, whatever normal is.
Yeah.
parents and you go to them and be like, Ma, I want to rap and I can really rap, and they be like,
yeah, go ahead.
Go on with that. Just go do your homework. No. This is what I'm
giving you the statistics of rapping instead of
right. This is what I say. This is what I said about my godsons. My godsons could rap any damn song that was on the radio. They can rap every song. But can you say your ABCs?
Right.
Can you do that? You know, and that's like the mindset of a parent,
right.
Most parents. But your mom's like, she recognized it and she supported you and she helped you along.
She basically like, I was being stubborn with it. At first she was like, boy, go ahead. Then it was like, no, like I'm really dead serious. Like I'm not playing. And then she was like, okay. Now, all right. Now, I ain't like, we had some times here and there where she was like, listen, boy, I put too much of my money in by this point. Like, she bought me a mic and all that. Like, we went to the store. Like, my mom was really, my pop support me too.
Right.
But it's just, you know, like, she was really like, yeah, come on. And then it was that from there. Like, she plugged me in the machine, yeah, you know.
Right.
So everything was just a go. And I don't know, I love it. Like,
right.
I can't do nothing else. You know what I mean? I love it.
Jay?
You know me. Been doing music for forever. But my mother started out supporting. As soon as it got to the point where I was building up a studio, needed help. It was my stepfather was helping me. She was like, nah, let his father help you with it. But my father, he always been supportive with me doing it. Like when I first came back to Baltimore, the first person he took me to was a couple of guys I started off with, and they had a studio. So like, as soon as I got back to Baltimore, I was in the studio. I did some stuff with Anthony G, and my father put me with Anthony G. So it was like my father, that's what was my support. Like,
yeah. So when did you start? I mean, like, when did you like? I mean, I've been singing like all my life. I can't hold a tune. Well, I can't now. I used to be able to, but I've been singing because I had music. We had music in the house all the time. You know, growing up, like. I really believe that my mother, like, my mother used to sing country music. She used to sing Tammy Wynette. Like, she played George Jones and Tammy Wynette. And my father was the rock and roll, where the 50s, 60s, and 70s rock and roll, you know. And then, like, we lived in the country, and we would go to these little events, and there'd be bluegrass music playing. And I listened to classical music on my own. And, like, I've always had music around me. So, usually, like, I started writing like poetry. I mean, if I really put my mind to it, I could probably write raps.
That's where I started at. Like, it started with poetry. Like, I was always rapping. Like,
right.
When I was young, I imitated what I heard on the radio. I was writing poetry like 4th, 5th grade. I was writing poetry, like real poetry.
Yeah.
I was reciting at school plays, stuff like that. By the time I got to middle school. And this is around the time Bone Thugs and Homie came off. And I was into them real heavy. So it was like I was picking up the style and didn't realize I was picking up the style.
Right.
Like it hit me. If I could recite these songs this fast, like I could make up my own stuff. So it got to the point I was just freestyling. My brother, he was already into it real heavy. So it was like we was just always doing it. And our parents, like my mother, she played drums and my father, he was on the keyboards, and it was like them times just passed on. It's like how you listen to classical. I was listening to classical. I was listening to rock. Like it was music I listened to when I was by myself. Back then, everybody was so judgmental.
They're still judgmental. What are you talking about?
I'm around a bunch of musicians, so I don't deal with the judgment.
Right.
So it's like if you're around nothing but artists, that's what you attract.
Right.
Artists. So it's like I don't hear from the artists, and then I didn't make beats. So it's like in order to do that. You have to know music. You have to know about classical. You have to know about rock. You have to know about the forefathers who paved that way. So I was listening to a little bit of everything. From Michael Jackson, the Plain White Tees, the Guns N' Roses. Like
my one of my friends today, I met him through the battle rap scene, and he posted up today that the Hoobastank, which is a band, they have a song called "The Reason." It's like 6 years old or whatever, and he was like, that was like one, like he likes that song. And for me, knowing him, and I'm just like, really? Oh,
I think Nickelback is cool.
Nickelback is awesome. What are you talking about?
Yeah,
but like certain people, I've noticed just because social media, like, you can take social media serious, and then you can't take social media serious. You just have to pick your battles with that. But I've seen people like be like, oh, you listen to that? You listen to... I listen to everything. Right now, like, I have so many new albums that I have to listen to because Freddie vs. Jason came out. Saha the Prince came out. Dave East came out.
Oh yeah, shout out to Dave East, man.
112 just released a new album after
Shout out
like 10
112.
years.
You know what I do with these, like, with different artists, and for those that sit back and have that stink face when there's people who listen to music outside of their genre, what they do, like, you suck. Like, you got to be the most idiotic people. I look at it like this. I listen to other music and get an idea of what I'm going to do. I sit back and look for what didn't somebody do. Because it seems like everything that comes out now is all sounding the same. So it's like, now what I do, like listening to rock music, listening to certain country songs, I get ideas. Because if you listen to those songs, especially with country, it's telling a story. So when you get to that point when you get into that real lyricist mode and you got a story to tell and you rhyming it, like,
You know that old country song.
it's you want to think about the stories, and a lot of times you just sitting back relating because the stories that's being told is, oh shit, I've been through that.
I said this probably about a couple weeks ago. What I want to do is I want to go and I want to find the lyrics to a rock song and just put the lyrics up. Not telling anybody what the song is or anything else, and see if they the
meaning of it.
You know what I mean? If they realize that it's a rock song and not a hip hop song, because the only thing that, like, there's really not that much difference.
And speaking of that, right now, that's why I feel like Lil Uzi Vert is doing it. Like, I can't really get with him,
right?
But the way he doing it like that. Like,
Hold up, what's the other dude? Tekashi 6ix9ine.
Yeah.
Another one. Like, I watch certain people post ads up in the voucher, and I'm looking at the type of music he do, and people fail to realize, I'm like, yo, he just created a lane for himself.
Right.
Anybody do something outside of what he's outside of what they're doing in this, and you just pretty much jumped in his lane. Like, you got. It's like you said, rock and hip hop pretty much the same. When it comes down to like the structure, the format of writing, it's pretty much the same thing.
Tech Nine is a perfect example of that. Tech Nine.
That's one of my favorite battles.
No, this is Tech Nine. He's an He even said, like, what I've always known who Tech Nine was. I was never a fan, but I knew who he was. I didn't know much about his music, but I knew who he was.
Right.
When he did the song with T-Pain called B.I.T.C.H., which is breaking into colored houses. And if you listen to the song,
he basically said how he crossing over.
He had to cross over into black an audience, because when he did shows, because his music had that rock vibe to it, he always went. It was white people that was in the crowd, and he said he felt like he had to cross when people say, "Oh, he sold." I've seen white people say, "Oh, he sold out." How did he sell out to go into another lane?
I mean, Wayne did it plenty of times. You feel
Wayne, when he pulled out the guitar, was playing the guitar.
Come on, the Martian. Prom Queen was when he first brought out the guitar.
Knockout.
Right. And the way that I look at, like, okay, I was just Scar Akbar a few nights ago. He got on live. I usually don't watch people's lives. I don't even go on live. I've only been live like 2 or 3 times. Right. That's just not me. As you can see, the camera's not even on me. The camera's on you. Mm-hmm. I don't want to be on camera. They're not here to see me. They're here to see my guest. Right, okay. So he was on live, and he pulled up this beat that he made, and the sample was Evanescence, My Immortal, and I was like, oh my God. Like, that's one of my favorite songs by Evanescence. And if you listen, like, how hip-hop really began, it was with samples. Mm-hmm. They were sampling music.
Take the breaks off disco tracks and just play the breaks, and
Right.
Use all the breaks.
So, I think that people fail to realize that hip-hop derived from jazz. You know what I mean? Like everything has derived off of everything else.
I'll be wondering, like, what is so wrong with that though? Because you already got to start from somewhere. We all started from somewhere. Like, to be real, we all came out of our mother. We started from in our mother, so you always gotta. That's like, so we're not gonna get older and be like, oh, mom, forget you. Like, oh, I'm gonna do this. But you still gonna love the person you came from. Where you came from, you still gonna have that essence. So
when hip hop began, people were like, some people were like, what is this? Because I remember, like I said, I told you before, the very first hip hop song I ever heard was Rapper's Delight. That was like one of the very first hip hop songs ever put out there. That was Rapper's Delight by Sugar Hill Gang. And when I first heard that, I was like, oh my God, what is this? This is something new. I'm loving this. Like, because I'm a lover of music.
Right.
So when I heard that, like, they've been having these arguments on Facebook.
I didn't mean to cut you off. Like the first original big hip hop song, because the dude was actually spitting. He stole the lyrics from somebody else. Like the hip hop community took that song as a joke. Like,
right.
They took it as a big joke because it was hold up. This dude spitting somebody else's rhyme. But I get what you said.
Right.
Like,
that was the very first song that I remember hearing. Now, I remember before computers and when, you know, like I learned all the words to Lottie Dottie because I put my cassette on and I got my pen and my paper and I'm writing the words down, stop and rewind and stuff. And I wrote out the words to Lottie Dottie so I could read, so I could spit those words.
Yeah, right along with it.
Right. Now,
That was for the computer.
that was way before the computer.
I could just type in Google these lyrics and they got a man.
There was no Google. When I started out with computer, you had a cassette tape that you put into a thing and you pushed a button and then you waited and you waited and you waited and then you could play little games that you had to use these buttons here. This is all So like I said, I've been there from the beginning, but with music, like I said, it all derives from something else. And when hip hop started, people were like, wait a minute, hold up. Now, they were having this debate. They're having this debate online, some of my Facebook friends, about mumble rap. They said, and they made a very valid point, because if you go back, DOS Effects. I love DOS Effects. Didn't understand what the fuck they were saying, but I love DOS Effects.
Somebody else posted this. They was talking about, well, not Wu-Tang wouldn't fall in this category, but it's
they talking about.
They said, yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff. Matter of fact, that was Ty Hill.
Ty Hill, yeah.
There was a lot of stuff that they were saying really
it made no sense. It just rhymed together.
I find myself in that position when I go back to a lot of old music,
and I'm like, if you listen to, like, I don't mean to cut you off, Jay. If you listen to Dipset, like, no disrespect to Cameron. Like, I love
Cameron
Dipset.
says some shit that you be like,
come on, any, meeny, miny, mo, need my money, gotta go. Come on, bro. Like it's so right.
And it went.
And that's the thing. You look at the time when it came out, yo, this is what was it.
And that's what I said. I said about Lil Wayne too. Yeah. Lil Wayne could sit on a track and spit Dr. Seuss rhymes, and everybody like, oh my God, you hear what he said? Yeah. He's the shit. And I'd be like, but he just spit Dr. Seuss.
Yeah, like y'all did not know what like recently.
I'm gonna break it down to you. You got different sets of ears. You got people who hear the lyrics, and you got people who hear the beat and the style of flow.
Right.
Like the style of flow and the beat, if that's knocking and the flows melodic and it's catchy, that's what's it. Yeah, you can be saying the stupidest shit. And
the hook, if the hook is catchy.
Like, just like recently, the Migos had a video with them reading a book. And the book was Llama Pajamas, but they were spitting bars as reading that book. Everybody liked that, you feel me? But, I mean, it was catchy. That's all it was.
Yeah.
It had a nice beat. It was catchy.
And it was simple. So, because I've heard this from a few artists that I think they're phenomenal. Like, I love hearing their music because I like storytellers. I like people who make me think. Like I said before, I like J. Cole because J. Cole will say this, but he means this. And I love that. You're making me think. But the average person doesn't want to think.
Right.
They don't care. And it's not that they're listening to lyrics anymore. They're listening to
Our society is screwed because it's more so. And I said this: you could put up some most meaningful, educational shit. I mean, you could post it on your Facebook page.
You might get 2 or 3 likes.
Now let it be. You know what I mean, yo, I just recorded a fight at the store, and everybody is tuned in. You got like a bunch of likes. I be looking like, damn, yo, like the world really don't like the truth, and they don't like positivity. If it's all ugly and indoctrinations, you know what I mean, it's cool. That's the end thing,
right?
Like.
And that's like I said, and like with the whole mumble rap. I don't listen to the radio. I don't like that genre of music. There are plenty. My son might like it. That's cool. He can listen to that shit. I don't care. I don't care what anybody listens to. I just don't. I don't consider it the rap that I listen to. It's not the hip hop that I listen to. And
that's all it is. It's different genres to it. Like everything ain't for everybody. Like it's. That's just what it is. Everything ain't for everybody. Like, you might have 50,000 people over here that might feel like this King Charming song is this shit, but you might got 50,000 people over here to be like, nah, I don't like it. And you might have somebody from this crew trying to figure out what don't you like about it. And
case in point, okay. Y'all got a song called Quagmire.
That song is that was one of the first songs I heard from Hayzie, and I said it to everybody. Every party I went to, I stopped the DJ. Whatever you playing, I'm gonna need you to play this before I leave.
Right. So they performed it at the show. My daughter, she was my production manager. She made sure that the show flowed well.
Right.
So that's one of her favorite songs. She loves that song. But I could just remember. I remember her saying, "Do they not know that Quagmire's probably got every venereal disease there is?" And we just busted out laughing because, like, she was like, going into the whole Quagmire thing. But that song, whenever they performed it at the show, even when you performed it at Gentleman 10, he looked at me. He was like, "We getting ready to perform an oldie." I was like, "Oh no, is it gonna be Quagmire?" And I was like, and everybody was looking because I had this big smile on my face, and I was just happy as shit.
That's what. Yeah, now I got what Jay McGraw was saying. It's like some people just got a knack for making timeless songs.
Right.
Like, to bring that song back out, and it was a whole different
crowd.
And they took to that song, and I'm like, this song like 5 years old.
Yeah, I just talked to him today, and let me tell you how small Baltimore is. He asked me if I knew G Hood. I was like, "That's my partner." Yeah. He was like, "Well, I just met him at this thing," and he said, and Hood gave him some sound advice. He was like, "He's very knowledgeable." I was like, "Yeah."
Me and Jay talk. Everybody know me and Jay done bumped.
Right.
So it was like we talked, and that was the one thing. Like I had to go. Like I said that last. I had to pull him up and apologize because it was. Man, my brother gave Jay the blues.
Right.
He didn't have to, and all we had to do was sit down and really talk
and talk to
be
him.
a little more patient with him. But that's the one thing he was like, marketing genius, man. Like,
yeah.
It's like a lot of stuff I slept on Jay with. Like Jay he's very handy and savvy with a lot of things. It's just Jay move on his time. It's like everything is a strategy with him. And I didn't understand that at the given point in time. But.
Right. And that's something that we talked about tonight. We was talking about, having that. He said, when I want people to do stuff on my time and they don't do it, and then they want me to do stuff on their time. Yeah. He said, and it's like, wait a minute, hold up. Like, I needed you to do this. So we could do this. And Jay, and over the years, like I said, Jay, I've known Jay for many, many years. I've watched Jay go from being an artist to being
a mogul.
Right. You know what I mean?
I can't. It took for me to be in some crazy situations, and I had to sit back and watch, and I'm watching people's actions, and I'm like, yo, out of everybody I've done some type of business with, Jay has been the most 100 with.
Right.
Like, it was some things I didn't understand at the given time. And then there's a lot of times where he came at me and was like giving me a warning and I ain't listening.
Right.
Yo, that dude, man, he is like, the fact that we have a disagreement and my attitude and demeanor, it kind of throw a person off and they're back up because they think I always want to fight or be violent. And that's not always the case with me. Like, I got a little older, so it was like, all right, we could sit down and talk it out like men. So it was like with him, this man came to my house and really said what he had. It wasn't no call and have a conversation. It wasn't no text message. It wasn't no inbox. He came to my house.
Right.
And it was we gonna sit here and talk. It was a little distance between us, but he said everything he had to say, and he was genuine about it. So I gotta respect it, because there ain't too many. And it be your so-called thoroughest, thugged out goons that won't even do that.
Yeah, because he was like, what the word? He was like, that's just how he is. He was like, I'm not scared of anybody, basically.
Mm-hmm. And
he was like, I'm not going, he's like, if you want to talk to me, we can sit down and we can talk.
Yeah.
He said, but I'm not going to sit here and be scared of you.
And that's just how he carried it, man. I'm like, man, like, it's a couple dudes up, man. My last situation, some people ain't had a face-to-face with me yet. The other party that was involved, he got a phone call. Mm-hmm. I had people call me outside of the people who had the issues. You know what I mean? I'm like,
right.
I ain't like that. I'm like, we got something to say. You talk to me directly. You got a phone number and an address for me. Jay is, all right, we had this disagreement. What day you available? We can link up and talk. Like, I appreciate that. Like, there's not too many people that really do that, man. It's called an open door policy.
That's like I said. It's like I said.
That's my wife.
Okay, you gotta unlock the door. But, that's why I say when you find people that are really in your corner and that really they showing you, like you said, yeah, Hood's been there. Yeah. He's showing you this, that, and the third. You still working with him, but you're also pulling these resources over here too. You know what I mean? So, Hood's gonna be. There might be a time when Hood's too busy to handle something or do something or give you a bit of advice, but you got Jay. Right. You might have somebody else who can help you go in that way.
That's one thing they both told me was like, yo, being self-sufficient.
Right.
Networking. So that's what kept me on my toes about a lot of things that dealing with music is networking. Staying, being in the right place at the right time, mingling with the right people. And you're not always gonna find the right people.
Right.
You're gonna bump into some a-holes. You feel me? Some the most negative people in the world.
Right.
You feel me? It's gonna be when you find people like Hood, Hayzie, and everybody else that along the way that are genuine and really just want to see you good. You always gotta keep them in the pocket. So
right, because there's a lot of people that are only looking out for themselves, or they see something in you that they can profit off of, or you know what I mean. So that's why, I've been in this scene long enough, and I've seen it all. I've seen it time and time again. That's why whenever you and Jay, you guys would get into it or whatever, and you leave, and then y'all came back. And then you left.
The second time that was on Jay, but I couldn't blame him because we had a fall. We had a falling out, and I went overboard with it. I went all the way overboard with it. That wasn't nothing but ego.
And at the time, and also at the same time, you might have been feeling like, okay, I'm here.
That's what it was. That's
and I'm here, and you're holding me back. You're holding me back. But what he was doing actually was he was building that strategy.
Yeah, and that's what me and Jay had to come to the conclusion of. Basically, we would collab together on a project, supposed to me being an artist under him. Jay's very creative with a bunch of I did work with Jay. I did a lot of work with Jay, so it's not like I could sit back and say, oh, the stuff that we attempted to do didn't go through, or he didn't come through. It was just what we was asking for. He couldn't cover at that given time. It was just at that given time. But if I could sit back and do it all over again, I would just erase the ego.
Right.
I would have kept it as it had just been me and my brother that he dealt with.
Right. Right. Like I said, this is a learning experience for everybody. Mm-hmm. Now, there's, I'm assuming that there's age difference because Lyrikz, you're 20, right? Mm-hmm. Like I said, when I first seen him, I was like, oh, look at this baby. And then he got on the mic, I was like, oh, wait a minute.
Ain't no baby.
Wait a minute. Hold up. But see, I already knew because everybody that Hood put on that stage, I already knew what kind of talent they had because Hood is not going to allow just anybody.
Where I got tight with him, the first day I met him, we was all on the basketball court, and my wife right here, she'll tell you, I don't many people, but if it's somebody that I'm dealing with and they pretty much bring you up, then I'm a little light on people that my people family.
Right.
But his conversation, it was, wait a minute, you know what I mean? How old are you?
Yeah,
Right.
I came out and told him, like, yeah, this little bro, this my twin.
Yeah, man, bro birthday on the same day, just a year apart.
Okay.
Just the conversation. I'm like, boy, you've been here before. Like, and he don't think like the typical young dude. I talk to a lot of younger guys, and it's like, yo, a lot of young dudes would be alive if they thought how they thought.
Right.
They do how they think, man. So it was, that's all it took. It was, let me go ahead.
And then you take them up under your wing and try to steer them in the right direction. Like I said, I know where you're coming from.
Yeah.
You know, this one right here, I'm trying to figure out.
With him,
yeah,
I came across him through my little sister.
Yeah, like that's how I got introduced to Hayzie.
Yeah.
Through him.
Yeah, see, I met Hayzie through his sister, you feel me? I used to spend a lot of time with my uncle, you feel me? He was paralyzed from the neck down. And his sister used to basically take care of him.
Oh, okay.
And a lot of the times when she wasn't there, I did whatever he needed.
Yeah.
And she helped me out. And it was a lot of times I went through a lot of obstacles in life. She helped me.
Right.
And when she came out and seen that I had a talent for music, she introduced me to her brother.
Right. She's like, wait a minute, my brother does music.
Yeah.
That's the whole kicker. I've known him for years.
Since I was probably about 15.
I known him for 15. So it was, all right, I don't want to take on too much. And then, I mean, it's hard to get him in shows and stuff. So I said, all right, we give him a little time to grow, let him develop. So I seen he was just constantly posting videos on Facebook. So I'm listening. I'm like, all right. Okay, yo, ready. So I hit him up. Was like, yo, what you trying to do, yo? Like,
between them times, I was just feeling like, you know what I mean? Like, all right, I know Jay see me. I know he see what I'm doing.
Right.
I know he see that a talent. But I'm like, do you really take me serious? You feel me?
Right.
And then around the time that he hit me up, I was telling him a lot of times, like, he'd hear me spitting on something, and I'd be like, I don't take it serious. He asked me, why not? And then that's when it came with the whole why not Wiz, hashtag why not Wiz. I started putting up videos. And he called Wyndham. And then he wound up bringing me in like, yeah.
So do you think that the reason why you weren't taking it serious because you really didn't know where to start as far as like being able to do shows? Because when I first came in the scene, I knew absolutely positively nobody.
Same here.
I was introduced to the Baltimore hip hop scene through MySpace, through artist named B.O.M.B, who has now become, he's like my brother. His daughter is my niece. Her and my daughter are thick as thieves. You know, she's always at my house. Right. But he hit me up and he reached out to me, and through him I got introduced to the scene. Right. So that's why I asked when you were like, I'm not taking it serious. Do you think it was because you're like, I really don't know where to begin? You know, I'm just doing this because it's something that I like to do.
Like, it was more so, like, it was somewhat that, but it was more so like, it's a lot of Baltimore artists right now, you feel me? And the sound that I'm putting out, I don't feel like it's the same sound that a lot of the artists putting out now.
But see, for me, I'm gonna tell you, for me, that's a good thing.
It's a good thing. And that's
there's too many artists. How many times have y'all been at shows and somebody on stage sounds like Future, sounds like somebody on the radio, does the same, it spits the same way, tries to sound like them? Why would anybody really want to look at you when they can just go to the radio and just listen? You know what I mean? But so different is for me. Different is good. Right. You know what I mean?
And you know what? I was trying to express that to a lot of younger dudes that I done dealt with in the past. I had one dude come to me. One day he was Herbo, the next minute he was Future, the next day he didn't know who he was. I'm like, duh, like, just be yourself.
I like being able to, I just had guys from Reading, Pennsylvania down here. And Reading, Pennsylvania artists are going to start coming down here once a month to do my show, to come on my show. When I listen to their music, because I don't listen to anybody's music until you're right here in front of me. Right. So I'm listening to the music and I'm like, yo. And I looked at the dude and I was like, you sound like nobody. I can't say, oh, well, you remind me of so-and-so, because you don't. And that's what I like, because I like to be able to put a song, like listen to somebody like, yo, who the hell is that?
You know the funny part? I'm just starting to hear that. Like for the longest it was yo, I still hear you don't sound like nobody here.
Yeah.
But you got this dude out Cherry Hill named Slick. So there's a lot of times I get like people hear me and be like, "You sound like him," and I'm like,
"No, he sound like me."
I was here first, but it's a lot of people though. Like it's like some like me and my brother we feel honored because there's a lot of people that's on now, and they were listening to me and my brother in the beginning,
and because you know that whole Chicago influence. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
I think that had a lot to do with it.
And that's the kid.
See, I told you we got history.
And at a radio show, it was on. It was at the GGI show. Steve spoke on it because he was like, "Y'all got a Midwest Chicago style," and it was we brought that style down here first.
Right.
While everybody was rapping the way you can understand every word. Me and my brother, we was doing that, but we was taking turns going fast. One rap fast, one rap slow, vice versa.
Right.
And then just the cadence and the wordplay, it's styles that these guys doing now. And I'm like, yo, we was doing that back in like early 2000, 2005, and then we switched up. And
well, for one, Baltimore doesn't really have its own hip hop style.
That's another thing.
Like right now, I feel like right now that's where drag music. Like
actually, we got it. Like if you
Moose,
listen to the radio name, if
drag.
you listen to the Baltimore artists. Like it's a sound that's been
I
developed here.
I like the fact that when I hear, cause like right now my grandson is 3. My grandson loves that damn Money Man song.
That's my song. I love them dudes, man. Shout out Peace for the Mafia, man.
Yeah, I love that song,
dudes, man.
And like they listen because of my son too. They listen to the Baltimore artists because the cousin also does all that too.
My 15, she about to be 15. She don't live in the city.
Right.
Like, the majority of the city artists we hear are from other people who live in the city. If my daughter, who lives
I
all
seen
the
that
way
post.
from Chase, Maryland, and she's out Essex, and she know who you are, and you live around my way, you popping.
Right, I see when you make that post.
That's the whole kick. I'm like, yo, these young dudes that's coming up, they got the following. This is the following you had the generation before them trying to gain, and it was a struggle there.
But the artists, what I've noticed, and I've said this time and time again, and I'll continue to say it, the young artists that are so popular right now, that they are what I call YouTube artists, because that's how they basically got their start, is by YouTube videos. It wasn't by going out here and performing shows like you've done. Right. It wasn't getting on YouTube and becoming popular. You know what I mean? And you know, like I call, and it's nothing. It's just how I classify them. They're YouTube stars.
Not even just YouTube, because now that Facebook been adapted the whole video thing. Let's look at Chaos. Chaos dropped a video rapping over anything, and she doing numbers. Like
right.
That's like it's.
That's like I don't know. You remember Calico?
Yeah, I remember Calico. Shout out Calico.
She was at a show at the Depot, and I recorded her because she got the song called "I'll Take Your Bitch," and I just love that song.
You was there for that show. I was there.
I recorded her because I like that song. You know, I don't do no recordings. I take pictures, but I wanted to record, and I put her on my Baltimore Paparazzi Facebook page. She got so many likes and shares. People from Texas were commenting on her video. And I was like, yo, I have never seen this happen before. It was remarkable to me. It was on my page.
I had my shot when I dropped this link, because I wasn't expecting that video to do numbers. There's a couple videos we did drop, and I looked at the numbers and was like,
right.
Wow, okay. All right, cool. Like, but it's...
That's because everybody...
I see the shift and change.
Everybody is more on that social media, YouTube, watching videos. And my thing, if you're gonna share a video with me, share it to my Baltimore Paparazzi page. I'm getting inbox messages and being tagged and stuff. I just untag my stuff, and I want to look at the message, but there's probably a guarantee that I'm not going to look at it because it's in my inbox. If you put it on my Baltimore Paparazzi page, I'm more likely to go and look at it and probably share it.
I tell a lot of artists, if you promoting and you using social media, it's a cheat sheet they got, like when to do it and how to do it.
Right.
If you in a bunch of music groups, use the music groups. Now it's cool
Right.
if you drop that one song, everybody you close, everybody you know you cool with, you know what I mean? And yeah, you tag them. But I use the groups.
Right.
It's like, and then I sit back the same way I'm promoting in there. I go in there and I'm looking. Like I said, I'm one of them artists where I will listen to what the next artist is doing.
Yeah, exactly.
Like I need to know what's going on. So I mean, I'm not making nothing that sound like this.
Yeah, right.
Or it's just to gain an idea. All right, yo did this. Prime example, Quagmire. I still got the pictures. Comp, yeah, I mean, because I shot a comp out that night. Like he did a song called Theo Huxtable.
Yeah.
That's where I got the idea for Quagmire from. I'm sitting back listening to it. I mean, just going through his
Today's his birthday.
I know. Happy birthday, Comp. Just going through, and I come across this, and I'm listening to it. I'm like, oh, this dude a TV head. Like, I'm a TV head. Like, I used to sit up and watch, like, Family Guys for hours on Cartoon Network. So it was, all right, what can I come up with that he didn't do, but it's refreshing, and I came up with that. Like, we was just having fun with it. The hook, when I came up with the hook, I was just freestyling, having fun with it, and I recorded it.
Right.
And it just came together. But I listen to a lot of different artists to get ideas, and then a lot of times it's refreshing because it's like, oh, some of these artists be putting out songs that you actually end up really liking. So it's like you become a fan of you. But I try to listen to everybody so I don't make the mistake of doing what they're doing. So it's like I'm up to par on what's being done, what people are talking about, or what they're not talking about.
Right.
And then I got a thing of I take a song with a gutter beat and say some real educational stuff in there without you realizing, yo, I'm spitting knowledge on here without having to change the content. This is how I word certain things. But like that's my whole view on it. Like you wanna advance as an artist, you gotta listen to other artists. You gotta know what's going on in your surroundings.
I get that a lot of times. Oh, I only listen to my own shit. I don't be listening to other people. I only listen to people who's in my clique.
I can't even listen to myself.
My favorite rapper is Mac Miller. Like, I sit there and I analyze all his music because it's different. He developed his own flow. He don't gotta be hood. He don't gotta you feel me? He's not too educational. He's not too hood. He speak who he is, and I respect that. He's a college boy. He dropped out. You feel me? If I'm not mistaken, but you know what I mean. He speak on his experience and what he does. You feel me? And that's all I look for.
Yeah, you know, we all know Baltimore City is filled with liars. You be this block, that block. I be there every day getting a chicken box.
Let me tell you. Now, Jay will tell you when I had my showcase, the way that I did is I gave you 15 tickets. You give me $75 from those tickets. You keep the other $75, or just give me the $75. You can pass out them tickets to give them to whoever. You know, so as long as I got my money, because I had to pay the door person, I had to pay my DJ, had to pay my host, had to pay my daughter, had to pay the club. You know what I mean? So my thought was, I'm giving you 15 tickets. I'm only getting half the money because you're doing half the work. I'm doing half the work. Right. I'm giving you a platform to be able to perform. And Jay will tell you that it was never empty. It was never empty in there.
Hold up. Remember when them dudes got up there and tried to bite our song?
Which one?
The Watcher song. Turn up.
Oh.
We maxed up. I'll never forget that, because look, Lyrikz was at the stage, her daughter was at the stage, there was a bunch of people there. And when that happened, we sitting over on the side of the wall, so it was like a little VIP area. Everybody just stopped and looked over. I heard Lisa saying, Lisa came over saying, that ain't Team J. Whole time, the dude that was in that was in the camp, man, I ain't gonna put you up there because it was so long ago. But man, he was coming around doing work with us, man. So I felt like he was fine. So it was just amazing. The Chinese and so, but I never spoke on it. Right? Yo, just kept bringing it up. Yo, I swear to God, I never heard the song. Yada yada yada. Then his man come to me like, yo, we heard the song. Yo, like,
and that's the thing. Me personally, if I took something from your song, I'm gonna give it to you. I'm gonna say that. Me personally, it's a song I just recorded recently.
This is the crazy part.
I took his first bars from it, and I put it in my own words.
This is the crazy part. When Yo did that, and we seen that, my brother had a song called Ain't Nobody Safe, and that was like the wrong day for them. I remember that stage, and the whole time he performed, and me and him just kept looking at him, and he's sitting in the back of the crowd, and he's sitting there with a dumb face like,
Like that,
That was some good times though.
Like, that's the thing, like, if you heard that song, bro, give them props, you feel me? Like, shout them out in the song or anything, bro.
They jacked the
like I
whole
said,
hook.
I took his first, few balls to the last song he did, and I put it in the last song I did. Me personally, I liked it. You feel me? I'm pretty sure he's not gonna take offense to it. Anybody that make good music, I don't feel like they should take offense to that. You feel me?
Right.
I feel like they should
like, oh yeah, I'm keeping it torch.
Exactly. You feel me? They should feel like they.
I look at it as admiration. If you sat back and you just sat and you took, I felt good because it was
admired.
A nigga bit my shit.
It's something about
Jay was like, we made it. Team Jacob done made it. They done took our shit.
When I hear a song, and like the flow change, like Kendrick, one of them, and the way they break down it. Oh, I'm gonna try that on my song.
Right.
I'm gonna try that on, not in the same words, but I'm gonna, that flow. Gates, I love Gate Switch Up.
That's my
Gate Switch Up game is vicious.
Right.
I can't do it how he do it, but yeah, one of them flows, like, I had to take that one day, like, I need that.
2 phones. I did that. The whole flow. I took it and put it in my own words. I don't like the song. Me personally, I don't like it because I put it. It sound too much of Gates.
Mm-hmm.
But you can hear it's me.
I'm gonna break it down to you. 2 phones. He stole that from Chicago. Not the song, but the flow pattern. Because if you go back and you listen to Just Venting and you compare the 2 flow patterns of Just Venting and that song was like, when I did that was a Chicago style. Like,
well, I mean, apparently he had been in Chicago because he got locked up. So
like, when I heard that, I'm like, damn, like everybody, and that's the crazy part because it was like, something that me and my brother started when we was up there. It was people that was emulating what we were doing, but it was more so. That's the city, that's the style.
Right.
I remember me and Spence was holding a conversation, and it was a song I did for the Cypher joint with the first Cypher joint we did. That Shaka had ended up hosting, and he was like, he came across some Chicago shit. He was like, niggas rap like you, and I'm like, look, that's just the style. Like,
right.
It was like me and my brother bought the style. It was something me and him been doing. It was my original rap.
And see, and what's crazy to me is I was having this conversation with a friend of mine about accents. Mm-hmm. And you're going to see where I'm coming to when I'm talking about accents. And she was talking about like how people pick up accents. And she was like, I don't sound like, I sound just like where I came from. And I'm like, I came from the same place you came from. I don't sound like the Eastern Shore anymore because I done lived in Columbus, Ohio. I done lived in New Jersey. I done lived down south. I done lived in Baltimore. So I done picked up pieces of
everything.
Right. So my accent doesn't sound like back home. And it's the same thing with the way you flow with music.
Right.
If when you up in Chicago, you around all that, you pick up that flow. You know what I mean?
What I did? I learned how to like combine something. Like it was alright. I love rap music. I love to rap. So it was like, Baltimore never had a set sound.
Right.
As far as how a Baltimore rapper would sound. Like, Philly rapper, when you hear one, you hear
club music.
I don't know, cause when what's his own name? The nigga from Up the Heights. He died a little while ago. You know who I'm talking about? No, G something. You know who I'm talking about, bro. But yeah, when he came...
no, yeah, 2 clocks, man. G-Rock, man.
Yeah, G-Rock.
He was from Emerson, wasn't he? He was from Emerson, wasn't he?
He was from Village. Oh, well, I thought he was from the Heights.
Emerson Village.
Yeah. Well, when he came out, he had that whole drag feeling, you feel me? Mm-hmm. And as I watched music progress from Baltimore, they picked up that feeling.
Now, this is the kick. It wasn't always there. We're just starting to develop the sound. With me, I was going from different states at one point, and I'm living there, I'm adapting to the environment, but it was like I was just taking and mixing cultures.
Right.
Like everything that I learned, everything that I watched, like I took Baltimore hustle game and Chicago hustle game and VA hustle game and kind of like combined it. Like I have an upper advantage over niggas Cause it's like, yo, the typical Baltimore nigga do typical shit on the block, and this, you know what I mean, when something go down, everybody caught up. I'm the one that's getting away. I ain't been touched, I ain't get caught up, and this based off of tactics. So it's like when you learn certain shit and you know certain shit, you know how to put it in the format of your music where it's
We're talking about Baltimore, like the Baltimore sound, and Mully had posted up something, one of his old songs, I Go Harder Than Baltimore.
Oh, that was that shit.
Now, if you look back at, like, you take it back to then, like, take it back to the time when Mully and Travis, Boss Man, and, you know, and they were rapping over, like, club beats. And then all of a sudden, the club beats, like, they weren't rapping over club beats anymore because they were trying to sound like New York, or they were trying to sound down south. But my thing is, I don't think they ever tried to sound like the Midwest.
They didn't.
You know, when Nelly, you remember when Nelly and them came out?
And that was the one up that I felt like I always had on the Baltimore scene. I never sound like the next Baltimore artist. And it was with the next Baltimore artist sound like, I don't know, but I don't sound like Mully, I don't sound like Verb, I ain't sound like Tyree. I had my own sound.
Nobody sounds like Verb. Nobody sounds like Verb. I've watched Verb be on stage and freestyle for 16 minutes.
Me and Verb.
We had to stop him because he was still going.
Wait a minute. 16 minutes. I can get him on the phone now. Me and Verb used to battle up Jogpool, Potomac Jogpool. Like, we used to go back and forth. I mean, we leave out the lunchroom, and it's broad daylight outside. We had this one battle, and it was like 3 people that stood on top of that hill, and we was going back and forth all fucking night. And it was like, yo,
see, I can't believe he go for 16.
Like, yo, this how well I know Verb. His vocabulary is very extensive, and I'm gonna tell you what Verb used to do. Yo, my brother used to sit in his room, and he had like a ton of encyclopedias. Back then, Yami Cannabis was his favorite rapper. This is the history Cannabis was his favorite. His rap name was Verbal Threat. Yeah, I mean, this nigga had like stacks of encyclopedias. We'd be sitting there, we had like a little writing session together, a little spawn section, freestyle, whatever. And he'd be putting out where, like, he put me onto that. Because by the time I came back to Baltimore, I was looking up the sources, encyclopedia, like learning words and shit. Like, that man used to sit back and really read encyclopedias and dictionaries and study the definition, and then use the word in a sentence and be able to rap this shit. So when we sitting back and win these ciphers, and Verb get to use these big ass words, and it's, yo, we breaking down the definitions. Me, dude, Rico, my man Bam. Bam was from here. I mean, Rico's Philly dude. We used to all sit in the room, and yo used to like go through the dictionary and shit, and we knew what the definitions of the words was when he would use them. Right. And it's, oh shit, just worded a nigga like, like Verb, man, like
it's like I said, like a lot of people don't know. Like the main purpose for my show has always been to give the spotlight to artists, but also educate people on history. And you know, like you guys are, you know, you're young, so you don't remember like certain venues that we had. You don't know about certain people that we had. You know, when I came in, Mr. Wilson was it was just before he passed away, and he was the one who kind of like put, you know, helped everybody. Like, this is the way I always describe it. Mr. Wilson helped dig out that pathway. Y'all got it's all asphalted. It's like when they asphalt. Look, it's like when they asphalt down Pratt Street and it's all nice and smooth. Yeah, that's what it's like now.
I sit back, I tell people, like, when I came in, you had people like Young Bonds, Beast the Bully. Tyree was just coming home from jail. Matter of fact, I was around before he even did that first go round when he first got his time. It's a lot of people that sit back. I be sitting back now like,
Beast is still around because I met up with him one night, and I follow him on Instagram. I gotta try to get him in here too.
You know, the last time I seen Beast and Bully, we was down the Seasons. That was the last time I seen him. Matter of fact, I want to say it was one of them hip hop conferences. But it was one of them, like, it was lit. Like, it was back in that. That was the last time I seen him. I always see his name come out. He's supposed to get Balls on the Bay. And I was looking forward to running into him. He didn't even show up that day, but that was my dude right there.
I mean, there's been a lot of artists that really helped pave the way for what everybody, you know, for everybody that's doing stuff now. Even for me to be able to do this, you know, and I look back, I don't even know the whole history of Baltimore. I know from when I first came in. And like I said, I remember the first time that Comp send me a message on MySpace. And I was like, oh my God, it's Comp. Oh my God. Oh my God. I was so excited. I was so excited to meet Scar Akbar. Mully, man. I introduced myself to Mully, I don't know how many times. So finally he was like, outside 5 Seasons one day, he was like, Lisa, I know who you are. And I was like, you know me? Like, cause you know, I wasn't even a paparazzi then. I was just the girl that was taking pictures. So, you know, when I got to meet these people that were on the radio, because it's so hard to get on the radio. And I'm, you know, listening to 92Q before I even knew the scene. And I'm hearing Scholarship Chick by Scar Akbar. You know, so I'm looking at this. And when I came in the scene and I'm looking at all this talent, and I go, you guys need to be on the radio.
Right.
You guys need to be on the radio. Like, I don't know if Quagmire might not make it to the radio, but it should be on the radio.
It made radio.
Did it?
It made radio. Man, I didn't even have to pay for the ads. All know who you know. But my man did a nice little edit on it, and he got it on the radio. It was times when we would get phone calls. We was at shows, and I would always catch the end of it. And I'm like, damn, I could never catch it. I remember the last time I remember it being on the radio. We was at the hip hop conference. We came. It was like 20 something deep, and it was like the DC and Virginia dudes came up here. And we sitting outside, we just, you know, parking lot pimping. Some was out there freestyling, whatever. And my brother's brother-in-law, he hit him and was like, yo, hand Jay the phone. I get the phone and this, yo, we just heard Quagmire on the radio. My phone rang. My cousin Steven called, yo, Quagmire was just on the radio. So we go to the car next to us. We ain't know the people in there, so we playing the show set, and the people that was sitting next to us, they playing the actual song off the radio. And I'm like, damn, like it made radio, it made a couple stations.
It made and see, and that's like, that makes you feel like you've accomplished one goal that as an artist that you set forth for yourself. You know, so like I said, I ask this question sometimes. It all depends on who I'm hearing, if I remember to ask it. But the reason why I ask is because I had TikTok in here, and Tok's answer really surprised me. I seen him in a whole different light when we had this conversation. That's the reason why I don't call these interviews anymore, because I get to see people and hear their words. What is like your ultimate goal with this music thing? Like, what is it that you really that you want to achieve?
My goal, I just want to see I done been there and done that with it. So it's like now, I'm ready to kick my feet up and do background work. But there's people that, like my wife sitting right there. I sat and told her, I said, at the end of this, like I'm just looking to sit back and have people like, yo, Hayzie looked out for me, thank you. I'm in this position because of Hayzie. Right. It's like right now, that's what I get. There's people that tag me, hey, every day, yo, thanks for the gem you dropped, bro. Thanks for putting me in this position. Even down to them, like, no different, you know what I mean? And champ, get another one. Try to put everybody in a good position where they can eat and shine and prosper off of it. And it's like everything that I didn't know that I had to learn, like, I can apply it to myself, but you know what I mean? On the same note, there's a younger generation coming up, so why not take everything that I know and everything that I've learned and put it in them? Bring them, like, show them how to do it on their own and not depend on the next. Because the one thing I've learned with this, we moving into an age where you really don't need the label. No. Like, you can do everything for yourself.
That's one reason why I love Strange Music so much, is because Travis O'Gwen, who's the CEO in tech, built Strange Music up from being in a little room to being in multiple warehouses and sound stages and everything else.
Like, how you think a Rockefeller got started? How you think a Bad Boy got started? Like, these labels had to start somewhere. Like, a lot of us Baltimore artists, we just started in back rooms and closets to basements to, you know what I mean, building the booth and like, just look at the progress. I remember 3D was just rapping, they was just starting hard body. Now to sit back and come around, see 3D, see Skip, and this, yo, you see the new studio?
Skip was just here. He actually had to go to work.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he was here when I got here. We have a teen show that happens from 3 to 4 on Saturdays, and it's teenagers, and they have a little show for an hour. So he was here to help with that, but he was just here. Wow. So I mean, you two. I mean, I know you guys are kind of like fresh faces, new, and you know. But what is your ultimate goal with this music stuff?
It's just like I always been a team player, you know, and I feel like what is it for to get the whole world and just have it to yourself?
Right.
And if you could, if that was the case, God wouldn't have made us. You feel me?
Mm-hmm.
God wouldn't have made us. Like and people wouldn't feel the need to be compatible with other people. If you wasn't trying to, you feel me, help this person fulfill this dream or make sure this person has this. You feel me? So it's always I just want to be able to put everybody else in a, like what Hayzie doing? You feel me? It's just all because it's like, what is it for to have all this knowledge,
right,
or all this money, or all of this and all of that, and just nobody else can have it.
Right.
If you look at it today, it's only a handful of people that's trying to help our youth out.
Right.
Because a lot of times they just looking for a way to get away from what they're going through in their personal life. And it's really not too much that the city got to offer. So
there's nothing the city can offer that they're offering.
Jail time.
Jail time. Because they got a brand new jail. Yeah, they offer you jail time.
That's the whole thing. Like, you got a bunch of talent here, and all these younger generation, they got a voice.
Right.
And they just want to use it. They just need the outlet. So if I could sit back and help where I can help out at, then yeah, like.
And I love the fact that Hayzie just said that, because me personally, I just want to be heard.
Mm-hmm.
I've been in so many situations where it's though nobody want to hear my outlook on it or my opinion on it. You feel me? So him giving me this music way, you feel me? Him giving me this lane is basically like, look, I'm listening. He basically showed he's listening to you. Now I'm giving you a stage. You feel me? Now a lot of people's listening to you. What you gonna take from that? What you gonna do with that?
Because I ain't gonna stunt. I sat down, I had one conversation with him. And it was, alright bro, I hear you. Yeah, what's this? Show number 6 next week for y'all?
Yeah, show number 6.
They just got started.
In 7 weeks. In 7 weeks. Number 6.
Mm-hmm.
And most of them been Billy Live shows.
Of course.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean,
Are you going to West Virginia?
the 9th we all there.
I'll be there too. I was supposed to be in New Orleans, but that everything got kind of pushed back.
West Virginia?
Yeah, West Virginia, bro.
Alright, bet.
MJ's pub in Martinsburg is it's not like Pennsylvania. It's not like 2.5 fucking hours away.
Oh my God, I was sweet the whole
Lock Raven? I ain't even never heard of Lock Raven.
Lock Haven, and Milton, and
we used to Lock Raven, bro.
right. I know where Lock Raven is. It's right there between the Alameda and
that's around the corner.
I'm at Lock Haven, my bad.
Lock Haven and Milton.
Yeah, that was a drop. Now,
But them shows be awesome.
Yeah, now when we went out, like the weather was bad up there, so but it was still a nice little crowd.
It
It
was
wasn't
nice
bad.
time.
It was
It was
just
nice
the Milton
time.
PA show. That's the show I wish I could have, because that show was live. Like
What, the Philly? I mean,
no,
the
this happened like a
Pittsburgh
while
show?
ago.
No.
Pittsburgh show. Milton PA. That was back in what was that, March, April?
Don't get me lying.
That Pittsburgh show, I couldn't wait for that.
It was lit up there, man. Like, I had fun with that show. It was crowd participation.
Well,
Shout
Oh, yeah.
Shout out to
a lot of love out of time.
So I'm gonna play the 2 songs that you sent me, and then we're gonna come back and we're gonna talk about these songs, because one of them I definitely need to know why it's named that.
Which one?
So,
Jumpin' Joe?
yeah.
Oh man, you know what? Alright, we come back to that.
This is In the Spotlight with Baltimore Paparazzi on Hard Body Radio, and we'll be right back after these songs play. It tells you when people join, but it don't tell you when they leave.
Man, fuck this shit that made me curse. The way I feel up every ball I hurt me and Hayzie bitch. The next day it all got a reputation for going hard. I'm on broad day with that big 40. I place a brain right by your balls. He gon' fall back while I spring forward. Now he told me they like saving. Bitch, I should have been fade. The OG say you know some cake. Fuck this shit I don't entertain and I be bullshitting. I was super nice. Shout out my head, it ain't playing games. out his brains. And in that field, product in that field. We TGG, don't be stupid, nigga. So leave your heart like I'm Cupid, nigga. Get your lung puncture, I ain't got nigga. Try rap mentality, but people niggas still touching when it's in a faking, nigga. So stop me running up and nothing changed but the color, nigga. We probably know it. They ain't even stepping gear up. Yeah, I'm saucing, nigga.
Oh shit, niggas ain't done it again. I'm back with this pack and I'm ready to win. The brain on the table, let's keep it begin. Cause I'm leaving no mercy, forgive all my sins. I don't really know what you're in for. I don't mama rap, I don't really care for. Now the real is back, you silk strap and cock it back to give a nigga what you care for. Rose, coke and Mars, dope is rap, crack a bars. So from leaking in this long rope to put it brown. I don't play with supposed to get broke. All my niggas really dangerous. A lot of niggas can't handle that sucker shit, but I'm going to blow. Cause my niggas really claiming tough. Give you niggas enough.
I be spazzing. Niggas should have said I'm ready to my Ellie and my company to be blasted. I want the action. Niggas gotta go out. Aliens want to metal cause I'm bringing them disaster. I ain't even master. Wanna spit the color, pussy niggas. I pull up on this.
Sounds like Michael Myers.
That's just the one.
I don't even play with the niggas in this scene. I'll be taking niggas sex off. Leave a nigga bad off. Swear to God, what they be you to me. So fuck you, pussy nigga like Rick Ross. Hit it with the mix up. I can't even fuck with your baby mother. Cause these hoes make a nigga dicks up. Better get the clips off. Can't spell the bit through a dilly and fucking silly. I be fucking niggas goose ball. Tell a bitch that's up. I be getting lit in the motherfucker. I'm dead to the world like spitting out. Sitting on straight talk. I'm a little sucker nigga. She in my pants cause she never got big ball. Shot them on nothing, my nigga. I'm dumping my nigga. All of us carry big toppers, my niggas. Y'all niggas rocking them rubbers, my niggas. Keep talking shit, I might bust you, my nigga. Niggas baby like I've been 30. Bitch, I'm bulletproof, now I can't hurt me. Uzi stepping with the big 30. Bars like soap, niggas been dirty. Rocking shows, I be slitting out. All these motherfuckers know I've been rocking. They want big runners. Yeah, I'm down with the fuck.
That's your mind, though.
That's unless you want to gather with your life. Niggas shake shit, they shake service. On the grind, going overtime. I kill a motherfucker over mine. I hope that my system don't overload because I do the dash, sure never drive. My business do my thing, nigga. She be fucking me and I'm a main nigga. I never change, I'm the same nigga. Not a records, I don't like to blame niggas. Y'all be too much alike. Still the same weed, probably drinking on the same liquor, on the same block, with the same clothes. Probably fucking on the same bitches. Niggas hating, these bitches freaking. I'm a rock star, drugging every weekend. If you geeking, fucking hope you get deleted. If I hit a jump, then that shit completed. Shorty tripping, thinking I'ma leave a hoe, get out my face and get a fucking breather. I don't use my mind as because rhymes keep a pull up on your bitch and slap her like a beaver. What is love?
I don't like to waste, smoke gas, need to meditate. Wake and wake, time to medicate. I got a 38 attached to my waist. A lot of bullshit that's on my plate, but I make my way to make it better day. I'm a real one for the better way. Thinking the booty on Johnny K. Ride with my cock out. Gunshots brought the cops out. I've been a real
Everybody that's home.
Now, but everything say me down. Don't play games, they eat down. Bet you bitches know me now. Girl, I'm telling you right. Motherfucker, this nigga's like crazy motherfucker, yeah, borderline. This work was back in the headline. You heard it through the grapevine. No bitches on my hotline. Smoke blow on my recline. With each bitch on this lunch
You don't
time.
deal with them. Yeah.
Okay, okay.
Batman flow, yeah. Magic square, go back in a little bit. I'm just drinking so bad and shit. I'm paper, I ain't the party. You ain't worried, you ain't worried. You was trust the rule, they want to
Yeah.
so this shit.
Probably get hot and bored. That is bored. That's mad moves, bro.
Only body,
Yeah, I like how he came. Yeah, he all
All right.
Yeah, you got comfort.
So who was that all spitting on gang gang?
That was Team Jacob, YGC, and Chaos.
Okay, and
then
Jumping Jehoshaphat.
That was me, King
King
John,
John.
my brother Mr. Still Reserve, and YGC.
Oh, so he going with Still Reserve again?
Huh?
He still going back with that?
Who?
Hypno.
That's what I mean. I thought that was like a
That's the only name that I know him as.
I thought that was a trend. I thought that was like a mixtape. Yeah, Mr. Still Reserved for this mixtape.
No, that's the only name I've ever known him as. I was like,
Really?
Yes, Mr. Still Reserve.
Yeah, I thought that was like a trend. Yeah, Mr. Still Reserve. Yo, I lied to you not. Hypno is that. But when he get on Mr. Still Reserve, bro, he black out and have no pics for nothing.
You are not lying about that.
No pics for nothing.
I've known him just as long as I've known Jay, and that like, you know.
Yeah, the day I met Jay, I met Mr. Still Reserve.
Look,
I didn't meet Hypno.
I came over, and when y'all lived on that little street, little street, and I came over there and was sitting over there with you talking to y'all for I don't know how long, and just chilling in the hood.
Oh, no, that brother was Mendez. That was Mendez. That was my brother Mendez that was there that day. Mendez.
No, but he was there too.
Oh, he was there that day?
Yeah, he came up too. He was,
yeah. You're right.
Yeah.
He was right next door.
Yeah, so yeah. Like I said, history.
Yeah.
You know. I'm good in every hood. I'm sorry. I'm just good in every hood.
He had this kid under his wing since I was, like I said, since I was like 14, 15, you feel me? Like you said, I wasn't old enough to get in a lot of shit.
Yeah.
And then there was a lot of controversy between this circle, you feel me? So
Yeah, that's yeah.
The Jehoshaphat song.
Yeah, how did that name come about? Because that's
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm gonna be real with you. Like when me and my wife first hooked up, she used to call me, Jehoshaphat. Like it was a little pet day, so it was the first song I did where it was Jehoshaphat when we shot the video to that, and it was like I just like kept that name in mind.
Right.
So it was like I jumped off on that track, so I just named it that. So this one, it was like the whole gosh, well, Jehoshaphat. That's the whole Batman thing, man.
Right.
So it was that beat, and he had that feel. So it was. I named it that. Then I shot out at the beginning of the song because she recorded it that day, but. You know what I mean? It was just that whole. She came up with that name, and I just ran with it.
See, and that's like sometimes when I talk to people, where did your the stage names? Because I'm sure, have you ever like looked at somebody's name and be like, how the fuck did they come up with that name?
Yeah, like,
I do that all the time.
Yachty.
You know,
Bro, yeah.
My brother, he made me change my older brother. He made me change my stage name because I was going by Murder Hayes at first, right? And he was like, "No, like what."
That kind of puts you in a like when they hear that they automatically think of
the worst shit.
Right.
So his whole thing was he knew where I can go flow wise. Like before I even took writing serious, he knew what I was capable of freestyling. So it was like He was like, bro, you got the ability to go mainstream. And at the time when he was saying, I used to look at him like, yo, you fucking crazy. You wouldn't catch me mainstream, nigga. But Quagmire,
right,
Raunchy, it's a mainstream song. Watches, that song went mainstream. It was like, he was like, them songs.
Now that's the turn up.
Yeah.
See, I never knew the name of it. It was a turn up. That's and just as much as y'all was turn up on that stage, the crowd would be turn up.
So, but it was when the whole name thing, like I had family members, they just called me Jay for short. So it was like, won't you just drop the murder and add Jay? So it was like Jay Hayzie. I'm like, man, that shit sound corny as shit. Then it stopped for a minute. And I thought about it. He was like, yo, who gonna say Jay Hayzie ain't nice? It had a ring to it. So it was, I stuck with it. No different than Hypno coming up with the whole Team Jacob name. It was when he said it, I'm looking at him like...
Well, where did Team Jacob come from?
Because the label is Wolfpack. I mean,
okay.
So at the given time when we first broke out, you had the Breaking Dawn and that whole Vampire series thing coming out.
The Twilight series.
Yeah. So when he came back from Chicago, he was like... Because we didn't have an official name.
Right.
So he was like, Team Jacob. And I'm looking like, nigga, fuck Team Jacob. What the fuck is this? I got quiet.
Right.
So I got quiet and I said, you know what? It's different, but it got a ring. It's always the stuff that I don't agree with 100% on. It works out for us. So I said, all right, we're going to run with that. And the name stood out.
Because I kind of like the Team Jacob. And I was like, Team Jacob, that's like Team Jacob and Team Edward.
Yeah.
You know? Yeah. And I was like... Team Jacob, and it didn't dawn on me just now about the whole Wolfpack thing.
It was a parody movie that came out, and he had the little sample shit. Somebody got smacked with a show. It was like, Team Jacob, bitch. So we used that. I sampled that. I sampled that, and I was using that to be it became a catchline for us. Right. People would quote that. Like, right. Team Jacob, bitch. Like, it was just funny. So it was like, I just capitalized on it when he came with it, and I ran with it. But the name stuck out, so anybody that heard it or they said that name, it was, that's Jay Hayzie, Hypno, Parlay, and Silk.
Right.
They knew the group, you know what I mean? So right. Off as a two-man thing, then it became four. So it was like that.
Right.
Like, the name, it stuck with us to the point, even to this day, you do from Team Jacob.
Just push that thing back up on the table somewhere.
Yeah,
it's
kind of like
it's a hole in the table or something. Yeah, it's not sliding nowhere. It's in a hole. So what about you? Where did the whole King Charm come from? Because, you know.
I actually, the whole King Charm came from my little sister, honestly.
No.
She called herself King Charm. And when she came out with King Charm, me being her big brother, I slashed the C and I was King Hum.
Mm-hmm.
Feel me? But after a while, I kind of me personally with my personal life, you feel me? Females and everything.
You're charming.
I'm a charming guy.
There you go.
You feel me? So that's where the charming part came in. You feel me? And when
so instead of you being a Prince Charming,
I'm a
King Charm.
Yeah, and when she kind of dropped that King Charm name, because she was she got bars. Honestly, I thought she was gonna take off with the rap thing before I did. You feel me? But she stopped. And when she stopped, I kind of all right, Lord, sis, I see where you went with it.
Right.
I'm going to take it and put another swing to it. You feel me?
And that's kind of Charm City.
Yeah. And that's where that came from. I'm a West Side nigga, but you know what I'm doing. Over East / the C, I'm in the city of Hum. You feel me?
Bars.
Yeah. Bars. It was like bars. You feel me?
Right.
When I see it, I'm like, I like that, you feel me? I like how she came up with it, with her being the first female king, you feel me? But me personally, I can put my own swing to it.
Right.
You know what I mean? Run with it. I'm a nice guy, but I can be arrogant at sometimes, you feel me? That's the whole King Charming thing.
Oh, okay. And is yours pretty well just like Lyrikz?
Yeah, it's bars. It started I ain't gonna lie. I ran through 50,000 names.
I believe it.
I ran through 50,000 names. I couldn't find one that I found one that fit 2 weeks. And I'm like, no, because I said, right? I'm like, no, I don't think I like it. So they was Lyrikz came about when I was young. And my mom was for you to everybody else who heard me, my mom and everybody else who was around listening to the bars, and they yo, you got lyrics for
right.
Lyrics for the age that you had. They way beyond your time. So I'm like, what? I'm gonna run with that. Then my mom, when I told my mother, she was like, all right, bet. Then we you know, edited it, you know, put the letters, I changed the C and the S to the K and the Z, and I stayed with young Lyrikz, you know, because I was young.
Right.
And I was like, you know what? Even though I'm really nice with the bars. I'm really nice with the bars, so it's now I am king, so it's King Lyrikz, you know what I mean? Or Lyrikz. I really tried to drop the young because, you know.
Well, and honestly, when I first met this guy, I thought that was his name. We met in high school. So we both went to Marvel together.
Yeah, shout out to Marvel.
That's where my son went.
That was his name. You feel me? So when he came out with the whole King Lyrikz and he showed me, and I seen where the aspect where the name came from.
Yeah.
That fits you, bro.
Y'all probably know my son.
What's his son name?
Jared Warner. Jared.
What's his graduating year?
He was supposed to graduate last year. He's 19. He'll be 20 in January. He light skinned.
He was an underclassman.
Yeah, he a light skinned tall. He got a little girl named Ava now.
He like 6'3".
Nah, he's 6 foot maybe. I'll show you a picture of his ass when we get off air. But yeah, I mean Marvel is the only but so fucking big. It's big enough. I hated going up that bitch. They be like, you gotta go upstairs. No, the fuck I don't.
You know, I didn't know Marvel had 5 floors too. I ain't learned that
I still
till
ain't
my
seen
third
the pool.
year.
I still ain't seen the pool.
You still ain't man.
I still ain't seen
They was in that pool boy.
See how they talk about it when we got in school.
My son waited to his senior year and he has 2 credits that he has to get so he can get a diploma.
Oh, he better than me. I had 4 to make up.
So now we got to do all that. So I definitely got to get that piece of paper.
Yeah, you gotta make sure you get that piece of paper because boy, you don't know. Take it from King Charming, boy. Boy, without that piece of paper, you gonna go through hell and back.
Well, hell and back 4 times.
4 times. 4.
With the gasoline jewels on.
So you say you got him on, you got him on shows and stuff.
Yeah. You done had their music, but they emailed it.
Yeah.
They took it as if I was saying email me, and I'm like,
no. That's why I said.
I was kind of disappointed when I heard that because they got some dope music.
I mean, they could still send it. I mean, because
I sent it recently, like
on
our way here.
And I'm
let me
like,
see. He said, "How my phone is set up."
Once he told me that, I was like, oh man.
The whole thing that caught me with these two, it was one thing I was dealing with him, but he kept talking about his car. He was ready to bring a whole squad on. I'm like, no, I want to do it.
I got a whole team that comes with it. You feel me?
It's sometimes it's kind of easier for one person than it is for the whole team.
That's what I had to learn. So I told myself, look, the person that work just as hard as you need to have him over here. That way y'all got stuff together, get y'all started. So it went from there, and it started with a freestyle with these two. And I thought the freestyle was written, but what made it stood out, because it took me back to me and my brother when it was those stuff we used to do. Like, we'd finish each other's sentences going back and forth. So I was like watching them two, and it was like she won't sing. Like, I'm like, hold up. I'm looking like, y'all wrote that?
No,
Sean looked at me, bust out laughing, like, looking at him like, bro, yo said we wrote that, and it was, yo, if y'all ain't write that, yo, I need y'all to go home, put some shit together just like that, and come back here so we can record it. Like, 2 days later, they had something, we sat down and recorded, and like,
and that's my thing, Tomcat freestyle. My pen game is serious, but like false freestyle. Like I always say, I'm trying to perfect my flaw.
Right.
And that's one of my major flaws. I can give you 2 to 3 bars.
Well, let me tell you something. Let me tell you something from my experience. There's a lot of artists.
They can't freestyle.
No, they can't count bars.
They can't count bars. And I learned 2 ways. I Googled it. It's 2 ways. But he showed me it's only 1 way. That 1, 2, 3, 1. That's a bar.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, it's one.
That 1, 2, 3, 4. That's a bar.
Right.
1, 2, 3, 4. That's a bar.
Right.
Me personally, I count my bars. I spit a line. If I feel like that's a bar, I'm gonna stop it right there, and I'm gonna pick up where it left off. You feel me? Like I'm gonna give you a punchline and then the hook. You feel me? And that's right there. That's the bar.
Right.
You feel me?
Because I've been, I've been in plenty of studios with people, artists and everything, listening to them record, and it amazes me that they can't count. They can't count 16.
I'm one of them. I'm one of them from breakdown to breakdown. Breakdown to breakdown. I need that breakdown at that 30-minute mark. What time he'll come back? 1:20.
Yeah. I'm gonna write all the way until that 125, and then I'm done. So let me know when you want me to pick off and when you want me to leave off. After that, I don't know what to tell you. He showed me. I'm catching on to it slowly but surely. But I'm kind of. It kind of intertwines with what I thought was bars. Right. You feel me? So all I gotta do is clean that up a little bit. You feel me? And catch the beat like it's supposed to.
I was at it was one of the Crown Awards at 5 Seasons, and it was the Producers Battle. Mm-hmm. And what the Producers Battle is they give them like either an artist or songs to sample from and to build a beat around.
Okay.
So this one producer, the beat was playing, and I'm like, is this beat ever going to drop? Is it ever going to drop? And they turned it off. He was like, wait a minute, it hadn't dropped yet. We're like, yeah, we know. He was like, no, you got to keep playing it. So they turned the beat back on. I'm sitting on the front of the stage because, I always got my camera. And everybody is over, over this way, that were like kind of like judging it or whatever. Mm-hmm. Only was over there. So I'm sitting there and I'm listening to the beat and I'm like, that's when it should drop. Only said, see, Lisa doesn't even rap and she knows it's supposed to drop right then. And it's just like,
I used to hate that. Like I done been to a lot of producers' crib where they was playing these beats. And I'm listening, and they got that introduction, and the introduction be like a minute and 20 seconds long, and I'm like, duh.
Do you know how many bars I could have? You know how much I could have spit in that time?
Not to cut you off, Wiz Khalifa, one of my favorite beats, Never Been. It was a whole minute and a half before he actually got to spit. And when I remixed that song, I had to go with that flow a whole minute and a half. Before I actually got to spit,
I've seen there's a beat. It's a beat by Childish Gambino that Jay Bruno and Hayzie did, but also Swizz from Funk Volume done too. And to hear how Jay and Hayzie did it compared to how Swizz did it, it was it was the same beat, but they took it in two totally different ways. And I was like, yo, I love this. And it's like my favorite song by Jay and Hayzie. It's called Work. And like, it's just crazy how that, like, you could take a beat and that's what I've always said. Like, I'm sick and tired of hearing people do industry beats. Right. I really am. Because what I've noticed now is when 50 first started doing it and he was taking Ja Rule's beats and he was killing those beats. Mm-hmm. When you heard that beat, you wasn't even thinking about Ja Rule.
At all.
And I did that with Verb.
You know what? I told Man Disco Smash, shout out to y'all. Like,
is he still doing music? I mean,
think he booked. If I don't see my man like Maniac Gray. If you don't see Maniac or you don't see Disco, it's either they booed up or they booked. It's one or the other. So I ain't seen him, so he booked.
I ain't seen nothing from Dre since I seen something when
I see Dre all the time on like, he always got something going on. It's just he dropped. He quiet with his shit. You know when it's always
when Paco passed.
Yeah, that fucked my head up when Paco died. Me and Paco.
Oh yeah, man. R.I.P. to my man Paco, man. Paco, that's the ball, man.
I played Fall Back with him and G Hood last week before I started my show.
I remember when him and Smash and Keys was beefing. He did man, yo.
When he did that diss to Smash, and then like after Smash passed away, he was like, apparently they had he apologized to him or whatever.
Everything was cool.
But Paco,
he was an idiot. Everybody,
listen. Baltimore, when I first heard Paco music, I said, yo, tell me that's not why he called it. He said, yeah, that's why he called himself Paco. I'm like,
thought it was Tupac.
What? And the way when you look at him real fast, you're like,
He looked like Tupac.
Pop. Yeah, basketball.
R.I.P. to Bro, man.
Yeah, I just went past the house for the first time since he was killed, and I just busted out in tears because me and Paco, I've known Paco for like 9 years. I've been to the house. I know his brother. Like, I've been around, him, and I would stop past the house when I would see him out there, and I get out the car and start, I talk to him, whatever. And we had just talked about he was going to go up to New York and be a part of Love and Hip Hop with Snoop, because she's on Love and Hip Hop, and him and Snoop were real tight. And he was like, yes, Snoop, she want me to come up there, And I said, you should have been Pac for the movie. He was like, John Singleton wanted me as Pac for the movie. But then somebody else took over the whole project and took it away from Afeni Shakur. So that whole, they hired this other dude. So, and the thing, like I said, like, there's been so many people that have been in this scene that we've lost, and that talented. Paco, talented. He wasn't trying to sound like Pac. He wasn't trying to look like Pac. He just was. And like I said, I played because Hood hit me up. He sent me the song. I've already got the song. I've had the song, and he was like, he said he already knew how he was going to die, because in Fall Back he was talking about how motherfuckers will run up in your house to kill you. Well, they shot him in his car. So. And the funny thing is, I don't watch the news. And that night, I happened to turn the news on, and they was talking about Sinclair Lane, and I was like...
I remember when you posted, because you said you had a feeling when he showed it. I wasn't expecting it to be him. You know what I mean? That's the crazy part. You know what was funny about that week? Because that Friday, Billy Live had a show. We was down at the Multicultural Center. That's when I found out my man Mark got killed. Long story, but he got killed that Friday. Then it was, we wake up the next day, it was my man Keontae, and then that Monday or that beginning of the week, it was Paco, and I'm like, damn, that was back to back. And I'm like, yo, these all
and then turn around, just like a day or so later, that's when Wally Flew got stabbed and died out in Hagerstown. And I met him through Billy Live, through the shows that Billy was doing. And the last time I seen him, he was on stage opening up for Tech 9 when Tech came here to Baltimore. You know what I mean? So, and he was always doing, like, he was always posting shows and stuff. He was really doing it. And now I just signed a petition. They're trying to get the 2 people that were involved before the stabbing and after the stabbing. They're trying to get the police to prosecute them. As far as like the whole thing with Paco, I'm not sure if the police are going to get a chance to get whoever killed him, because I'm sure the streets are probably going to take care of that.
That's how they go. You got to tell it to the game sometimes. You feel me?
But Hood sent me the song, and he was like, he knew how he was going to die, and I was like, yo, I don't need this Hood. I done cried for days now.
You know what? I had an artist that, I ain't gonna put it out there. I ain't gonna put that artist out there, but they came over and recorded a song, and I had to pull them up and be like, yo, something you want to tell motherfuckers, yo? Like, yo, it was, I'm listening to this shit, and I'm like, yo, it's a lot of detail in this song, and I know what that artist was going through for his health issues and shit, and I'm like, yo, something going on, please let me know. And what's crazy is, I'm the only one with this song. Nobody else has it, and this artist has a name, so it's like, if something happens, or... like, the song is mixed in. I just needed a single one. I'm gonna get my man to lay some vocals on it. But you know what I mean? I'm just sitting on that song, like, and I always question that artist, like, yo, was you like?
Well, I mean, like you said though. I mean, like I've said too. Music, when you write something that you're going through, or something that you've been through, or something that's been a part of you, that kind of music is going to resonate, is going to be able to appeal to others. That's like I said, like Kevin Gates, when he writes about his love for Drika and his love for the kids.
I'm
gonna tell you, everybody needs a Drika. You already got yours right there.
Lyrikz is still looking. Lyrikz is definitely still looking.
My man's King Lyrikz is still looking for his Drika.
But I'm saying, you know what I mean? Like, I can relate to that. I can, you know, when people be able to relate to the music.
And that's funny because, man, my wife was just talking about that earlier. Like, he writes, and that's funny because, you know what I mean, Kevin Gates same sign as me, so it's like, you know what I mean, I got
Aquarius gang.
Aquarius gang.
That's what things he say. And a lot of people don't even realize, like, if you really listen to Gates be on something deeper than what people understand. Like, if you're not, you know what I mean?
It took me a while.
Because it's people like that's quick to say, oh, he's a devil. No, you don't understand what he's saying. And we're quick to take something and shoot it down because we don't understand it, or take something else that, you know what I mean, we was taught to believe, and we not doing our own research. Like, it's a lot of stuff that he taught. I told you, cognitive dissonance.
Wow, man. We just had a conversation about that earlier.
Yeah, like people, like, he be saying some deep stuff, and I'm like, yo, the world is bigger than what people is.
Right.
There's much more to the world than the Bible. But he be talking that. He be talking that. And I be like, yeah, dude, I'm on point with
you know,
I like Kevin Gates.
And like I said, it took me.
Out day too, you feel me?
It took me a while because, like I said, my kids were listening to him. My daughter was listening to him way before he was popular. Like, she found his music on this app that she had on her phone, which has all these mixtapes. And she, you know, she used to write music too. She would never perform it, but she used to write. She's scared to be on stage, so she was listening. She came across him, and she was like, she really liked him. And every time I would get in her car, I had to listen to what she was listening to. It's her car. That's me. That's the rules. If you're in my car, you got to listen to what the fuck I'm listening to. If you don't like it, close your ears. I don't care. Put your headphones in. Whatever. So, you know, it wasn't until I heard one of the songs, I was like, let me go and look up these lyrics. Because his accent and his slang. Because it's that Louisiana accent, that Louisiana slang. So I went and I looked, I was like, yo, wait a minute. So I went and looked at some more of his lyrics. I have mixtapes on my phone. I have, you know, the mixtape that Drake had just dropped for him.
By Any Means
2. That's the
By Any Means 2. What? Stranger Than Fiction. Yeah, I'm a Gates fan.
She be dropping them for, man. Yeah, shout out to Gates. BWA.
So,
man.
you know, that's why I always say, when you write from your heart, like, even if I was to write music, I'm not in the streets, but if I'm around somebody all the time and they telling me their story, you can, yeah.
That's what Pop was going. Like, Pop didn't mix how everybody thought he was. Like, he would sit back and be around some people who was really in that mix.
Right.
And he wrote off of that emotion.
But he was one that was spitting knowledge in his songs, and if you weren't paying attention,
it went over your head.
Yeah. You didn't understand. You was like,
there's a lot of artists out today that, yeah, I mean,
Only is one of them. I think.
Man, what's Only? Like, man, I've been listening to Only for since 2010, 2011. Matter of fact, I want to say it was Finesse who put me on to Yo, and I've been listening to Yo ever since. Like, I remember we was at the Brown Awards. You know what I mean, it was, what was that, 2013? Yeah, that was 2013. Yeah, 2013. And he got up there and he did the freestyle cypher. He slaughtered that shit. I said, yo,
and see, and he's an artist. He's one of the first artists that I heard spit fast. Him, Snaps, Apex does that too.
Yeah, Apex.
And, you know, and I'm just like, I be amazed. You know, to me personally, I'm amazed about any artist because I can't write raps. I can't spit lyrics unless I am going along with a song that I already know. You know, so anything that anybody else can do that I can't, it amazes me. You know, that's just how I am. Like, I don't, like, even with photography, J5 is still my favorite photographer. He don't even do photography anymore. Ruben Green is one of my favorite photographers because the things that they capture is not things that I capture. You know, because we all have our own little things that we do.
Yeah.
Latrice Williams, who's part of Wisdom Court, now she's got Sweet Face Pics, and even Billy said this. Billy said, "You guys could be standing next to one another and capture something totally different.
Because that was like it's a picture you took. It's a screensaver. Matter of fact, I was just looking at that. It's a screensaver on my computer. I sat back and did my own little work tour. You know what I mean? But it's a lot of like we was just all in that conversation. Certain people, if you ain't got certain people, especially Baltimore paparazzi, if you have no pictures,
took of me now. Like, yeah, I need that.
Or if you ain't got no pictures with Jay McGraw, or it's a series of people. You ain't on the right team.
Lyrikz got pictures from me that don't have any watermark, don't have any logo, because that was part of Hood's thing.
Yeah,
you know what I mean.
But
so
still, the way you shot, I'm like, oh yeah, I need that.
I done seen a couple pictures of Lyrikz. You feel me? Like he been in the mix before I had. You feel me?
You took a lot of good pictures of us.
Oh yeah, and that's with the old logo too.
Yeah, I got a lot of good pictures that you didn't took that I use.
Yeah, and it's like I said, like, and you know, with me, it's I like capturing those moments on stage because there's something that you all love to do, right. And I'm there to capture those moments, you know, because I've had people look at the pictures, be like, "Yo, that's when I said da 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 da." I'm like,
real though. Like you got the picture where I'm like this. I'm like, I know what I was saying.
That's how I'm sitting back looking at, because there's a lot of shows like I look at the pictures and be like, all right, I know what night this was. I remember what night this was. I remember what song we was doing. Like I pay attention to the photographers, like especially like anybody holding a camera. B.O.M.B. I learned this from Skipper. I used to watch him go to the edge of the stage, and he'll stand there with the mic, and he'll look you directly in your eyes and spit like a good 6 to 8 bars, and then walk away from you and go to the next person. Like I felt like, all right, he's really talking to the crowd. He's talking to me. Like, so it's like, all right, if he's looking directly at you and he's saying some shit and you can relate to what he's saying, he got you. Because now you...
Right.
So now it was like after that, I started doing it.
Right.
So it was like not biting him, but it was learning from him. Well, I learned from a lot of different artists. Like
when I tell people, you can have a hot song, it'd be an awesome song, but you get up on that stage and you have no stage presence.
It'll kill it. It will kill it. You know what? This is my pick. When it was Team Jacob.
Oh Lord, what the hell?
When it was Team Jacob and I had to deal with doing shows and
look, we got fire trucks and ambulance out here.
Me personally,
what's going on?
My first show was with him. I was nervous. Without him, I wouldn't have any stage presence. But I learned from him. I learned. Matter of fact, no, I'm not even gonna get him and him because he performed before I did. So I picked up on what he did.
Right.
And then the next show, I picked up on what he did.
A competition, and this lady said something that meant something, because we ain't win a competition. It seemed like, I mean, we beat So Swag, but Spence beat us. And he beat us twice. The second time, the first time it was a toss-up, and it was, Silk got cocky, went to Rod Stat, and yo, you already got to talking cocky, so Rod was like, all right, we're just going to flip the coin. We won that night.
Right.
So we got cheated out that one due to an arrogant team member. Next competition, it was like Spence really earned that win. I don't take nothing from Spence, because that night that we lost from the first night, it was out of us two.
Right.
We held that crowd low. I still got that video that showed that. But I never debated. It was, all right, yo, whatever, shit. I'd rather lost to Spencer than anybody else that night. Right. So the second show, it was a Shinye show, and we went and we performed Quagmire. Now the whole kicker was, it's supposed to be just me and my brother. You seen me and my brother, just me and my brother, run that song,
right,
and get a reaction from a crowd. What Phil ended up doing was standing on the stage, and it was like you just standing there. And this was a multiple amount of shows we did. I'm like, Doug, everybody else be turned up, jumping around, everybody like doing something,
right?
You just sitting back, laying in the background, like. I'm like, yo, it takes away from your show set. And I mean, like now, after dealing with K-Mac, I sat back and I watched, I mean, this dude rehearse. No, before the rehearsal, I watched him perform.
Right.
And I mean, and it was like, all right, damn, you're awesome at this shit. You know what I mean? Like, K-Mac really gave
That's because he's been doing it since the 90s.
Yeah, but when he expressed the whole purpose of rehearsing, because it was like, all right, certain songs that I got a habit of, I record so much, And we got so many songs that, you know what I mean, I can go back to something that was just recorded and I forget the verse. I forget a lot of the words because I didn't took on like 4 other songs before and I didn't get to perform it, I ain't heard it in a while. So when I was over there dealing with them, and he was like just expressing it was okay. I see see what it does when you're actually rehearsing. With me, it'd be kind of hard to fit that time in to rehearse, but I find the time to do it. Right,
because I'm gonna tell you when I first came to the scene and I was with I would ride to the shows or whatever with B.O.M.B or whatever, and they playing the show CD over and over and over again as we're going to the spot, especially when we had to ride all the way out Dundalk out the Black Hole Club. And you know, and play the CD over and over because of that simple fact. Like, I can write something. Like, I had Scars come at me a couple of years ago and be like, you wrote a status the other day and it said blah, blah, blah. I was like, yo, that was the other day. I don't remember shit. Like, you know, like I've written poetry. I can't recite none of my poetry because I don't recite it.
We did a show, B City Tay was there. B City Select, he changed his name.
Tay.
He walked up to me, he was like, yo, I forget the name of the song we did, but it was Ordinary Nigga. He was like, yo, you trying to do this verse? Or like, yo, you still got the song we can do? I'm looking at him like, dude. We recorded that song back, and mind you, this was like 2016 when this event happened. I'm like, dude, that was 2012, 2013. I don't remember near a lick of that verse. Like,
it's some. Well, I'm sure like some songs when they come on and you hear them, you be like, okay, all right. But
that's
still,
a song that, yeah, I mean, I'm like, when we was doing it, and then it was like, all right, yeah, I mean, we moved on. Right. So it was like, to sit and go to that particular song. I'm looking like it could be any song. Velocity, that was a Bomb Team Jacob song. I don't remember my verse from that shit. I can spit the first half of it, and the rest of it is
Right. And see, and that's and like Team Cremate. We've talked about Team Cremate. They don't rehearse. But when they're on stage, you think that they rehearse because there's 4 of them on stage. They don't bump into each other. They do the same things. Right. But you know, Division's the same way too.
You know what make it easier?
Shout out to the Division, man. Shout out. Yo, just sent me a couple of beats, man. Yeah,
Skinny.
Skinny. Shout out to the Division.
The whole kicker with me and my brother, the difference between us and everybody you name. We are speed rappers. Like we fall in that chopper line. I feel like a lot of times I don't be rapping that fast, but it be people like nigga. So I'm like, all right, cool. You know what I mean? So it's like, you know what I mean? Like if I can go back to days before we was doing the speed thing. Right. It was just regular flows. It was all right. You heard the song enough. You know it. So it's like, all right, you're not really running out of breath. You know the song. With me, I'm a smoker. I ain't smoked cigarettes in like 3 years. I kicked that cold turkey, but I smoke a lot of grass. So it's like, I be trying to cut down. And then now I be working on cardio. The build stamina up. But man, you a fast rapper. It takes a lot of rehearsal to do that shit. Right. Like,
I was at the Vanity Room one night. And I had my camera in hand. I think Ogun was hosting the show.
Shout out my man Ogun.
And Ogun was like, yo, the board of paparazzi is in here. And I looked at him and was like, shut up. I don't like, I'm there to enjoy my show. I'm taking pictures. So I kid you not, dude walks up to me, goes, you better have the camera ready because my man, when he get up on stage, and I'm looking at him going, my camera's always ready. I don't know who you are, but okay. I wasn't on no diva shit. I do get on my diva shit every now and again. But I was like, oh, okay, my camera's always ready. But all right. No lie. Dude gets up there. Got 2 other guys up there with him, right? Holds the mic like this, closes his eyes, and does this the whole time he's on stage rapping. What did you want to do? I'm like waiting for him to like.
See, and this is the thing. I've done that a couple times.
But
the only time I close my eyes is when I get in my mode. You feel me? I close my eyes. If it's not what I want to see, I picture what I want to see.
Right.
And then I run with it.
But see, you just you're kind of new to all this. This dude, I swear to God, he looked like he was about 30 some years old. I don't know how old he was, but he's been doing he's been doing the music for a while. So, and then we was out at what's that little hole in the wall out there by Sparrow's Point or whatever, Spartan Inn.
Spartan Inn, yeah.
I was out there and I was waiting. I was waiting for Prophet. It was one of his shows. It was moved from one spot out there. So I see the dude that said, "Oh yeah, my man, get your camera ready, right?" I hear him talking trash about me. Talking about, "Oh, she only took like 5 pictures of my artist, blah, blah, blah." I act like I ain't hear nothing. So go inside. He comes up to me, he all smiling in my face. "You just talk shit about me outside." So he comes up to me like, "Yeah, I was trying to find them pictures." And I said, "They're on the Baltimore Paparazzi page. That's like all my other pictures." I said, and yeah, he said something. I said, "Well, would you like to pay me to take pictures?"
Because that would have been my next thing.
If I took 5 pictures of your artist, guess what? You're lucky.
Right.
I didn't have to take any because I'm not getting paid to be here.
Right.
I'm coming here to do a service because maybe you'll see the pictures and you'll want to buy them without the watermark.
Yeah.
And maybe that way you can use them.
You know you offered that service. If that's the case, I'd have been got pictures.
Yeah, I
all
sell.
the promo work we be doing, man. I'd have been like this. So
Yep.
get these pictures up for you.
Yep, I sell them pictures all the time. Yeah. I gotta get one of my hard drives fixed, and I lost all my pictures from before. Oh God, it's a mess. But my thing is this: you complaining about me taking pictures of your artist who you said was going to be doing this, that, and the third.
Dopeness.
And another thing, I got another pet peeve that I have. One pet peeve is you get up there and you have no stage presence at all. My other pet peeve is you get on stage and you got like 20 motherfuckers behind you. I'm watching the drunk motherfucker who's spitting wrong words to your song.
Peep game. Me and Jay had this, like, he pulled me up one day. He was like, "Yeah, Jay, you gotta have her showing fake love." And I'm like, "What you mean?" He was like, "Yo, a person will come up to you, hear me watch somebody at the show, you'll clap it up for him, and then you'll watch, and then you dip off." Yeah, because, I mean, there's no stage presence. One out of 2 days if I do that. The song is trash, the set is trash, and there's no stage presence.
Right.
Like, if your song is trash and you got stage presence and you rock, then yeah, I'm going to sit back and watch you because I can feel your energy.
Right.
And, you know what I mean? If you just sitting up there with a trash song, and you just sitting there and just in one spot, like, that's gonna bore me. I need a drink. Or I need to go take a smoke. So that's my time to walk away.
Like,
it's no diss.
I could understand if like he said, like when he got on stage and he was like he was like scared, like stage the stage fright or whatever. I can understand that. But if you're an artist who's been on stage multiple times and you still have no stage presence,
you find a way. This is
why you get hit, bro?
You ain't got no friends.
Like, this is my thing.
Right.
Every show that I've ever done, even up to now, before we go on, I always get that nervous jitteriness on me. I don't know why, and I be sit back like, "Oh,
yeah, me too."
I think it's the start of adrenaline.
Yeah,
because once you get on that stage and
it's gone. Yeah. Like, this is what I do. I close my eyes. Oh, I'm in a whole. Like, I done watched interviews with professional, like with industry artists, and I done heard them say this. Like, it's like they do a count, they open their eyes, they in a whole nother world. It's like they done transform. Everybody want to say, "Oh, they possess spot." No, you go into a whole nother zone and you're here. Everything is in your mind.
Like
you get comfortable with yourself.
Right, you go into another zone. Like, it's been times when my wife was at shows and I would push the limit, like just testing me. And shit, tell you, there's been times I probably done started an argument or just took something that we may have had a disagreement just to get mad purposely, just to see can I perform under tough pretenses without fucking up. And I've done it. We had a show with down Ramsey with Frank Lewis. Silk got tore up off the wax. And my wife had to take him to the hospital. Now we did all this stress, had to sell all these tickets. You know what I mean? Like, that was a stressful day, a stressful week. So I figured, all right, the easy part done. We down here. We just waiting to go on stage now.
And you want to know what's crazy? The last show we had,
every time.
Me and bro had a situation where as though bro came to me like, And this is bro. Like I met him in high school, and it's already been it's been this.
Right.
You feel me? In the streets, I need help. He got me. You feel me?
Vice versa.
And vice versa. You feel me? Like any way possible.
Right.
Even you feel me mentally. If I need help, he got me. It was a situation where he came to me the last show like, I need to talk to you, and I'm like, what you mean? Like, what's up? We can talk to this. We can talk about this now. You feel me? And he like, nah, we can talk about this after the show. And like, it kind of affected my stage presence because I'm like, the whole time.
Yeah, you're like, what is he? What do you want to talk about?
What is you like? Really, what do you want to talk about? And I know, bro. We've been together for what 6+ years now. You feel me? If it's really something that really important, he's gonna speak on it right then and there. You feel me? And it kind of took days later for him to speak on it, and it kind of like it affected my stage presence. Like, bro, it is really going on. You like,
I ain't gonna lie, like even before that, like I had got in a little situation with my mother. You feel me? With parents, you know, when parents think they getting disrespected. I don't want to watch this and think I'm disrespecting no one. But yeah, like, she thought I disrespected her for real. I ain't gonna lie, she put hands on me, but I was reacting. But yeah, like every time, and well, they just make the show better for real. Like, you be mad at the moment, like, yo, I got a big day today, like, I just want to chill,
but it snapped you back, like, after all of BS, after all that, I got my time to speak my vote, like I said, all in all I want to do is be heard, you feel me? And after all, man, bro, that was bickering, bro, what's wrong? Nothing, bro, what's wrong? Nothing. You know what? After all that, we still got to speak our votes. And afterwards, he let me know what was going on. Still, like that right there, like that whole situation, it could have took and it could have added to the stage presence. You feel me? And that added to the stage presence, definitely.
Right. So, so that's about our time.
Shout out to Hard Body Radio.
Yes.
Shout out to Hard Body.
Give everybody your information where they can find you, find your music, find you performing somewhere.
Jay Hayzie, Reverb Nation, Team Jacob SoundCloud, Wolfpack ENT, fan page. I'm just about on everything. You can Google us. Jay Washington on YouTube. I'm on everything. Hayzie on Twitter.
Young Lyrikz for Facebook. King Lyrikz. 410 King Lyrikz. Just regular King Lyrikz for Instagram. I got 2 Instagram pages. You know, somebody told me like, yo, you make sure try to clean your Instagram up a little bit. So I'm working on that for real. So I'm doing that. I got a Twitter Lyrikz 410, but like me and Twitter, I'm gonna have to call them because. They trying to lock me out. You feel me? So at my SoundCloud, King Lyrikz too. Like, you know, it's just a whole lot of King shit going on. You feel me?
See the kid right here, you feel me? 410 King Charming, you feel me? 410 Wiz. A lot of people don't know where that Wiz thing come from. It's a high school thing. Everybody thought I looked like the kid Wiz Khalifa, you feel me? But yeah, 410 Wiz, King Charming, KTM King Charming, KTM underscore.
Shout out to the guys too.
Shout out to the guys. Shout out KTM Wolfpack.
Shout out Chaos. Shout out Champ. You know.
Shout out Champ. Shout out Chaos.
Natural Born Baby. Shout out
MBV. You know we rocking the game, baby.
Did you shout out Wifey?
Shout out Buddha over there.
Miss Magic Swag in the building.
Shout out the female Buddha, you feel me? Shout out the bloodline Buddha, you feel me? Shout out the Bubbles. And all the wifeys, all the ladies that's holding us down, you feel me? Like, we need y'all support too.
I'm gonna tell you right now, I can't tell you how many shows I was at and seen Jay and be like, where Wifey?
Every show, if she's not, and that's crazy. It ain't just you. That's the one thing. And I'm honored to say this. I'm like the only artist on this scene that can say, yo, out of all these females, that's I ain't done nothing with none of them. Everybody know who my wife is. They see like.
Yeah, shout out to Jay, man.
Shout out to Jay.
I ain't got no person with none of them.
Shout out to Booty.
I ain't never missed to the controversy, none of that
Yeah.
shit. So no, like,
Yeah, I just had this conversation about how it had got back to me from a dude that I was talking to that he was told not to deal with me because he heard that I get close to artists to have sex with them. I was like, what? I was like, I didn't.
I never even heard that.
I was.
And I heard about hard body radio.
I never heard about that. I heard nothing like that.
I was just like, oh, wait a minute, hold up.
I've heard some things, but it's like, yo, I've never heard your name. Like,
I pride myself because how many of these females that are in the scene, not even just the artists, but females that are in the scene, and when you mention their names, it's, oh, well, she slept with so and 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 so.
You know what? Like, it was everybody, Hood told me, like, boy, this is the person you want to know. So I'm looking at you, I'm like, yeah, everybody should want to know. Because everybody, you feel me, never know. I never seen nobody, none of the shows that I seen you where I never seen nobody get out of pocket with you.
Oh, no, they know better.
I know better.
Poplar Grove comes out real quick.
Poplar Grove?
Yes.
Oh, yeah, Winchester, Poplar Grove.
That's where I lived at.
Braves, yes.
I was right there, the last house before you get to the corner, across, like, right
there by the bar?
Right by the corner store, yeah.
Okay.
I was at the corner house. I was there for like 7 years.
I was born and raised Winchester and Poplar Grove, you feel me?
So you know Little Man?
Little Man,
you know Little Man?
you feel me?
That's the one I tried to stab him.
Oh man, that was one. I remember him when he was fat.
Yeah, me too.
Before he got shot.
Yeah, that's why I told him I was going to stab him because it was a year afterwards, and he was running his mouth to me, and I told him I pulled out the butcher knife in front of the cop and told him I was going to stab him where he got shot. Yeah, my daughter grew up around there too. Like
that's big homie around there. I went to Calverton Middle School. You feel me?
Yeah. I'm sure we know a lot of the same people because, like I said, I was the ringtone lady.
Yeah. Oh, you live right there in Winchester. Right. Oh, what's the other block? It's Winchester and Oakhurst.
Yeah.
Right there by Winchester, Oakhurst. I used to come get my ringtone from him. I remember, baby.
The one way is Monroe. I'm from Monroe, Mosier. Like, used to, when the ringtones was like, yo, that's
when the ringtones was going, I used to come
here and go over the ring.
Oh my God. I used to pay like $5 every 2 weeks. What?
Yeah.
For you ringtone.
Cause you in the ring and take my
I remember the house and all that.
Yeah, that's me.
Baltimore's a small city.
I told you.
Baltimore's a small
I told you he's going to the bathroom.
I remember Lord Daquan, Lord Joe, you feel me? He be hanging with Tato with him right now.
Yeah.
But Chad, they my guys.
Yeah. But I was the ringtone lady because everybody came to me because I'm gonna tell you one of the dudes he pissed me off and I told him he was never getting another ringtone from me. He would try to get somebody else to bring his phone up there. But I would be like, no, this is Guy's phone. No, I'm not doing his phone. It's because he disrespected me. I'm gonna teach you a lesson. Right. I don't need your $1. That's cool. I don't need your $1. So he come back up one day and he apologized to me. He's like, Miss Lisa, can I get Sky's the Limit by Lil Wayne?
We used to be like 8 deep on her boards. I remember, bro.
But he had went up to Mondawmin. He was like, man, they gave me 19 seconds of just the hook. But I would give him
the whole minute.
Right. I would give him whatever.
We was going to you to get the verses. Like,
right.
Like the whole, oh my God. Yo, Baltimore is so good.
I was out the whole time. Oh my God.
Yeah.
You made out childhood.
And one of the guys that he used to come and get ringtones, and he used to get me to do instrumental CDs for him.
Right.
He did one of my shows. He was like, I met him at Mondawmin at the Burger King. He was like, you used to do ringtones on Poplar Grove? And I was like, yeah. He's like, I used to come get my ringtones from you. I used to get my instrumental CDs from you.
My first ringtone that I ever got from you was Lil Wayne 3P. I remember that. Because that was the first ringtone I ever got.
It was Lil Wayne, Boosie, Webby.
Yeah, it was when they were jumping off.
Set it off. My second one.
Yeah.
My second one.
The whole little verse.
I remember.
We need the verses.
It was 3 of us that came in. All of us was, matter of fact, it was 4. All of us was the same height. Daquan, Tranye, it was another Daquan, and it was Joseph. You feel me? We all lived on Poplar Grove. You feel me? But I lived on Longwood.
Okay, yeah. Well, then you knew Lil Tommy.
Exactly.
Lil Tommy was like our cousin.
Yeah, see, he was fine for real. Like, dang, niggas show love to Shorty. Shout out to Shorty.
Yeah. Shout out.
All right, well, let me cut this because we having a private conversation on live.
Yeah.
So next week, hold up, next week. Who I got next week?
You got next week?
I don't even know. Ain't that a shame? I got everything. What's next week? Next week I was supposed to be in New Orleans, but I'm going to be here. I'm going to have Baltimore Big Steve.
Okay, shout out to Baltimore Big Steve.
He's coming through.
I don't know if you remember, but I did search for you, big homie. Remember that?
He's coming through, and then we're shooting up to West Virginia for the show.
Okay.
And then 16th I got Nelly Hendrix.
Hey,
got my girl.
Yeah.
What was her name before that?
I don't know.
Remember, I was going to continue to call her that. I wasn't going to call her Nelly Hendrix because that was not her name, and now I don't even remember what her name is.
I like the Nelly Hendrix thing.
Yeah, I got Nelly, and then the 23rd I got All the Way G. He's coming through. The 30th I got I don't have their name, but Skipper. He's sending somebody here. Bottom. Let's see. Right now, probably not until February the 10th. Okay. So, yo, thanks everybody for Musa Thomas.
That's my man.
Wolfpack all day.
That's my man.
Musa. So I thank everybody for tuning in on Facebook Live, on YouTube. Once it's processed, y'all will be able to share it and everything. Shout out to everybody for coming through. Thank you guys for coming through.
Thank you for having me.
Can you unlock the front door?
It's crazy, right? Because I used to work right down the street from here, and I walk past here every day, and not knowing that this was the studio for this.
Well, we just got here in September.